man else I have avoided thee, but get thee back. Thy soul is charged with too much blood of thine already.
I have no words. My voice is in my sword. Thou bloodier villain than terms can get thee out.
Thou losest labor.
I'm here working on a memoir about Powhatan, and I've been interviewing people. It's a wonderful project. It's also Shakespeare Week, one of the most exciting weeks of the year for me. And I must tell you, now that I'm not director, it's a pretty enjoyable week. One of the things that I found out in this project is, through interviewing the alums, is the effect that Shakespeare has had on them. One of the questions that they point out is that almost all of them go on to high school or college and at some point take Shakespeare or a course on Shakespeare as an elective. And then I finish their sentence and I say, yeah, and it was really easy and you got an A. And they go, well, yeah, it was. And the reason is that during middle school, they actually did Shakespeare. They actually did the entire play. They worked really, really hard. And because of that, they understand that it's a play and that it should be seen as a play and that the literature is in the lines of the characters. They already know how to decipher that. And so when they go on, it's an easy A, as they put it. Because their experience at Powhatan was organic and authentic, in other words, they did the play, they didn't do a shortened version of it, they didn't do a version that was changed, they acquire great facility with this literature and with the whole idea of Shakespeare. Another thing that they acquire is the sense of being part of a team. And this team involved their talents and their abilities, and together they all worked and produced a really stellar finished product. It doesn't matter whether or not you're an actor, but in the 21st century, this world's going to require a lot of people working together to find good solutions to common problems. And putting on a Shakespeare play when you're 13, that's a big one to handle.
And be these juggling fiends no more believed, that palter us in a double sense. They keep the word of promise on our ear and break it to our hope. I will not fight with thee.
Then yield thee, coward, and live to be the show and gaze the time. We'll have thee, as rarer monsters are, painted upon a pole, and under it here may you see the time.
Recently, I was interviewing Allison Cole, now Hesburgh, and Natalie Swope, now Greenhosh. And they were talking about their Shakespeare play. Allison was the Duke in A Midsummer Night's Dream, and Natalie was Titania, the Queen of the Fairies. And what was so outstanding was they were sitting there repeating their speeches to each other. Now, I am sure they have not reviewed those speeches for 20 years, and yet there they were, just snapping them off one back and forth to each other. And I was reminded that according to Piaget, our memory is never better than when we are 13 and 14. And so that's always a comfort. And to sit there and have an affirmation like that, of them being able to remember their speeches after decades, wow. something like a play or carol sing, something like that, is a way that Powhatan showcases its collegiality. Because even though when I was doing it, it always said Dick Bell, director. But the fact was, you had the art department, the music department, and all your colleagues were all working together to help you put this play on. And I know that Karina Naguib, who's doing Macbeth this year, I know that her colleagues have really helped her. And I know that this is an example when she goes forward. I know she's going to feel like, wow, my colleagues really helped me and laid the foundation for me and the cast to put on a great production.